Yalla. Come, guys. Yeah, we're waiting for the pizza for whatever reason. They said they delivered it. Quality. Quality deliverers. Valerie, come sit in the circle. Come to be a stranger.
Sorry.
Come take a seat here. Sit in the circle. Cool. So tonight, the Wednesday night before my birthday, I just thought I'd give you thank you. I thought I'd give you my my favorite mitzvah. Everyone's got a mitzvah that they feel very connected to. And my mitzvah that I really try and at least specialize in, because I'm probably not good at the other 612.
Is it prayer?
It's prayer. It's prayer. Right? Prayer is the one that I love.
I just got that.
Prayer is the one that I've seen can really change lives. I love helping people in their life. And the greatest gift I can give to you is to teach you how to pray. To teach you the secrets of prayer, how to maximize prayer. As they say, how to get your prayers answered. So let's learn. Step one. Let's ask them the questions. We like, as rabbis, to ask questions. Why on earth should prayer even work? If you think about it, does Hashem love you, yes or no?
Yes.
Does Hashem want the best for you, yes or no? Does Hashem know what's best for you, yes or no?
Yes.
So are you telling something in prayer that he didn't already know? No. So when you say, Hashem, I want to be married now, you say, Hashem is like, oh my gosh, I forgot about you. I've been so busy. Thank you so much for alerting my attention to you. Hey, angels, yalla, sort them out. Like, you forgot about Tel Aviv. That's not how it works. It's not your alerting Hashem to something he didn't know, agreed? It's not that, and then some people think, you know what? I'm going to say it in a way that he hasn't heard before. And you go and say, Hashem, you give me a husband, I will give you $1,000. You be my shadchan, I'll give you under the chuppah, after the chuppah, $10,000, Hashem, to the charity of your choice. So then you think, Hashem's, okay, bought, sold. I need the money. You know, sometimes we think we can barter and negotiate with Hashem. That's obviously not the case. Guess what? Prayer is not about changing Hashem's mind. In fact, the word prayer, very secular words translated from Latin, comes to prayer, which actually means a type of begging. That's not a Jewish way of prayer. A lot of people maybe have this Christian version that they think prayer is Hashem, please, like you're going like on your knees, Hashem, please, in that kind of begging way. That's not, like, I think they call it a prayer mantle. It's just coming to my head. Right? That's not prayer the Jewish way. That's not lehit palel. That's not tefillah. That might be prayer, but that's not tefillah. Even worse, some people, you go to synagogue and you see the following. Has anyone ever seen a scene like this? People get out a book and they start mumbling. You know, they say the last word out, and before then there's a lot of mumbling. Okay, I've done now. So let me ask you, and then by the way, people say, oh, I don't like prayer, because that wasn't praying. Or they'll say, there's no depth to prayer, because that wasn't praying. Or they'll say, I don't really understand. It's because anyone who goes out of synagogue and says, I couldn't keep up, I wasn't able, you haven't had the rabbi who's taught you really how to pray. So I'm going to share with you today how to really not pray but do tefillah Lehitpalel, how to be palel, how to do tefillah, because the word prayer is not even the word. And it goes like this. So we'll start off with the great tzaddik Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch. Step one of what prayer is. My friends, prayer is not about changing Hashem's mind. It's about changing your mind. It's not about changing God, it's about changing you. Prayer should be the ultimate self-growth going to a therapy session experience. Real prayer should be, wow, I've had insights about me. I've seen where my ego's getting in the way. I've seen where I've got incorrect narratives. I've seen where I'm blocking. Yama had the most beautiful line today from Rav Simcha Wasserman. Rav Simcha Wasserman used to say, Hashem shines His light everywhere. The problem is, our shadows are getting in the way. Our ego and our shadows are stopping the light come through. Or put another way, so I was traveling back from London to Israel this Sunday night, and just my muzzle. I'm a big football fan. And like the game of the century for us, England-Mexico, just happened to be on the flight at 1 a.m. Like I didn't think for a second, I'm flying through the night, I'll miss the game. Hashem made me miss the game. But then I'm thinking before, I can get Wi-Fi and I'll pay for the LL Wi-Fi. So that's the first thing. You get on the sky, all of a sudden there's no Wi-Fi. But there should be Wi-Fi. Everywhere in the universe there's Wi-Fi. So why are we not connected when we're flying? Question one. And then question two, even when I got the Wi-Fi, I couldn't access the game, even though the game is out there. And it teaches me a really important spiritual principle. My friends, Hashem's will is constantly out there. Maybe Wi-Fi, instead of F-I, do W-I-L-L-H. Hashem's will. If you look instead of Wi-Fi, Hashem's will. All there is Hashem's light. Hashem's will. But tragically, we block it. We're blocking the reception. Your stubbornness can block reception. Anger blocks reception. Disconnection from the Wi-Fi through, let's say you break Shabbat, right now you lost Wi-Fi. You can start it up again, start keeping Shabbos. When at the moment you're breaking Shabbos, you get disconnected from the Wi-Fi. Selfishness, disconnected from Wi-Fi. Do an Aveirah, that pollution disconnects you from Wi-Fi. Prayer is about reconnecting you back to the Wi-Fi that's out there, to Hashem's will. Often in our lives, we're making such tragic choices which are so far away from Hashem's will. And what you're meant to do when you pray, and this is the first tip for you, it should be an opportunity to really be asking yourself, what do I want? In fact, I'm going to ask you that question right now. Are you ready, everyone? So everyone wake up a second. You with me? Ask yourself, close your eyes just for a moment. Everyone close your eyes. And ask yourselves, what do I want in life? Right now, what's the number one thing you want? What do I want? What is it you want? And if it's to win the lottery, I'll say why. If it's to become a billionaire, I'll say why. If it's to lie on the beach, I'll say shame. That's what the dogs want to do. Really, that's as good as it gets? It should be a kind of humiliating experience when you really ask yourself why. Because you ask yourself, what do I want? And then, why do I want it? And it's normally very humiliating and embarrassing when you start really going into where your ego is holding and where your choice is aligning to ego as opposed to aligning to Hashem's will. Because by the end of prayer, if you've really prayed well, and you've reconnected the Wi-Fi, you've aligned yourselves to Hashem's will, you should be now wanting what Hashem wants for you. Which is the goal, which is the dream, which is when we do 3 steps back and 3 steps forward, the hope is that by the end of prayer, you are now getting to the 3, you're now moved closer to what Hashem wants than what you initially, egotistically, selfishly wanted. So my friends, step one is that it changes you. It doesn't change Hashem. The analogies I like to give are like this. Analogy number one is the following. Imagine my son, when it was his bar mitzvah, everyone's giving him bar mitzvah presents. But one of my friends thought, I've got a really good idea. Do you know what the bar mitzvah present was? And please don't do this to any bar mitzvah boys. They bought my 13-year-old son a dartboard with very dangerous darts, which could kill his sister if he wanted. And he didn't like his sister much. So at the beginning of the dartboard experience, like you give to a 13-year-old boy darts, he was throwing the darts anywhere but the dartboard. So I had to confiscate his favorite bar mitzvah present. And I said, Yitzi, when I can trust you to put the darts only in the dartboard, you can have it back. Come back to me on your 14th birthday. So he comes back to me on his 14th birthday. Daddy, I said, no, absolutely not. 15th birthday, even worse. For his wedding present, he got his dartboard back. But
That's so mean.
no, it was good for the house. There was holes everywhere, and the daughters were very scared. So the point is that let's understand. Maybe what you're asking for in your prayer is right now dangerous in your hands. For example, some of you have said to me, Rabbi, I want to make a lot of money. To make a lot of money when you're not yet a vessel that will be able to give it out the way Hashem wants to give it out, it's a bit like me driving a Ferrari. I could really harm it and harm myself because that's not my expertise, driving cars. And I get into a car without having the background of dealing with such fast engines, you can crash. People can crash their money. The number one thing people ask me for, Rabbi, give me a blessing that I can get married. That's the greatest Ferrari. Because if you have your soulmate when you're not ready for your soulmate, you can crash that. And then you could, God forbid, lose your soulmate for eternity. So do you know what Hashem does because He loves you? He says, come back to me when you're ready. And every day, Hashem, I'm ready now. And He's saying, no, you're not, because you haven't done the work. And then maybe you have like one therapy session. Okay, no. You've got to do the work, which means work out what is it that I need to improve on, that I can receive my soulmate. It's going to be healthy. I'm going to be able to really nurture. I'm going to be able to give. I'm going to be in the highest version of myself. Some of you are going through the conversion program. When someone converts, do you know how many times my students have said to me, Rabbi, I'm ready. I was ready a month ago. I was ready 2 months ago. Hashem disagrees. If Hashem thought you were ready, you'd be Jewish by now. But you're not humble enough yet to work out. We work on Hashem's time, not my time. If Hashem wants me to learn more, it means I need to learn more. I can't tell you how many students have said to me, Rabbi, I know it all. I say, my rabbi doesn't know it all. What on earth are you talking about? I know it all. Growth in learning is an eternal lifetime experience. And Hashem knows best for anyone who's going to come out the mikveh. It's only on Hashem's time. The Bet Din are a conduit of Hashem. They're not making free will decisions. Hashem will decide when someone's ready to convert. The moment you get married under the chuppah is not only the moment it was announced when you were born that you were going to get married from the bat kol, but it's now the moment that Hashem feels you're ready. And until that moment, Hashem says, for whatever reason, which I'm not speculating, you're not yet ready. For whatever reason. I like to say, maybe for all the girls in here, it's the boys' fault. They're not ready. That makes you feel better, right? But who the heck knows? It could be you, it could be them, it could be Mashiach. We haven't got a clue, but humanity is not ready for your marriage yet. The Jewish people aren't yet ready for your marriage. Why? Because if they were ready, you'd be married. So that means be humble and say, Hashem, what did you want me to learn to get ready? That's a good question. No one comes to me with that question. People come to me with the question, Rabbi, give me a blessing to get married. Give me a skula to get married. What do I need to do? People don't ask, what is the spiritual work I need to do to prepare for it? No one asks that. And that's why 2 years later they come back. Can I have a blessing, please? No! Do the work! Do the work! When I came to Tel Aviv, there was another building we used to do Shabbats in called Bar Kochba, 54 Bar Kochba. And we had a big roof there, and I remember one Sukkot, my community there, and at that time loved their hot drinks at the end of the meal. So I thought, okay, Sukkot, let's make sure I bring up a big Shabbata, and we did a lot of work to get that Shabbata, and then electricity on the roof. Okay, so we figured it out, and we got the wires coming all the way down, and basically it took hours, and finally the hot water was there, and the coffee was there, and I was so excited. I said to the end of the meal, okay, if anybody wants a hot drink, you can have one. And they went to go and find it, and they said, Rabbi, there's the urn, there's the coffee, there's no cups. And I said, now I understand prayer. Often the blessings are there. The blessings are there. But we've got to be able to receive the blessing. If we're not yet a vessel to receive the blessing, it's not the time for the blessing to be in the cup, because you ain't got a cup yet. And if you've got a cup with holes in, you don't want the blessing yet, because you'll lose it. So right now, the things that you are waiting for, stop waiting for them and stop repairing the cup. And getting a new cup. And getting a vessel ready to receive the blessing, which is there. But the cup's not yet there. So that's step one of prayer. To work on the cup. And that's why Hebrew is the best language in the world. You get all that if you really understand the word tefillah. Because unlike most words, it's actually a reflexive word. We say lehit palel. Like you say to get dressed, you say lehit labesh. To pray, you say lehit palel. What is lehit palel? Because palel, which ironically means to judge, lehit palel is you're judging yourself. It's a self-awareness, self-introspection experience of what do I need to do to now be ready. It's not what do you need to do, Hashem. It's not, Hashem, can you just focus on me, please? He is focused on you, and he says you're not ready. So why are you saying again, no, focus on me, Hashem. I am, and you're not ready. So you need to say, Hashem, help me be ready. What do I need to do? Am I speaking Lashon Hara too much? Is that getting in the way? Is my ego too strong? Am I too stubborn? Am I not ready to commit? Am I too stuck in my ways? Am I... whatever it is. You know, there's Rabbi David Aaron says a beautiful story of one of his students. He used to come to him every year to ask for a blessing to have a child. And he kept trying to bless them. Nothing happened, and nothing happened, until one day she went to a Kabbalistic astrologer. And they were doing the charting, and the astrologer said, you've got a real hatred for cleanliness, don't you? Cleanliness. She was like OCD. She needs everything very clean, very clean, very clean. No dirt. Said, do you know why you haven't got children? Because you don't actually want it subconsciously. Because you're worried it's going to spoil the cleanliness. So you are blocking your child. So let's go and have therapy. Go and deal with it. Go and understand how you can marry a baby to having the type of cleanliness that you can realistically deal with. And then the baby will come. And a couple of years the baby came. She called the baby Mr. Clean. No. But that was a way of, we're doing that. Sometimes it's always us, we're blocking the blessing. So funny, we think everyone else is blocking the blessing. We're blaming everyone else and we're the victim. But actually, prayer should be about closing your eyes and saying, Hashem, what do I need to do? What do I need to work on? What do you want from me? What's my intuition telling me? And then it depends what it is. For example, if it's money, so start thinking, okay, can I do more charity with it? Can I be entrusted to give more charity? Am I giving enough tzedakah? Often the reason why you don't have the financial status you want is because every time he gives it to you, you just spend it on yourself. And you're not sharing it the way Hashem wants you to. 10% is not yours. It's not yours. So Hashem wants you, first and foremost, to give it out as charity. So often Hashem will trust you. I always say to people, you could trust someone not on their words, but on their actions. So Hashem does that as well. So if you say, Hashem, if you give me money, I'll give charity. Hashem is, let's see how much you're giving at the moment. So the way you're giving will detail how serious you are when you're saying how much you're going to give when the money comes in. Are you with me? So whatever the thing you want is, ask yourself, how could I be blocking it maybe with some subconscious thoughts? 1, 2, with some subconscious sins or conscious sins, which are preventing it, which are maybe contradicting what I'm wanting, because maybe I'm wanting 2 things. Especially guys, they say to me, it's not so much a girl thing, it's often more of a guy. Obviously guys in here excluded from this. But some guys will say to me, Rabbi, I'm just looking for the one. I'm looking to settle down. I just want to be married. And then they're going on casual dates every single night, having casual experiences the whole time. So they want 2 things. Their higher self wants to be married, and their lower self just wants to have fun. So Hashem is like, you make up your mind. Right now, what you really want is to have fun, so I'm giving you fun. When you change your mind, if you ever change your mind, then we can talk about something else. But we'll change our mind through our actions. So that's step number 1 in prayer. And lehit labesh, lehit palel means it's an inner reflexive experience. Part 1. With me so far? Part 2. Rabbi David Aarons says the most beautiful thing. The word palel is used in the Torah for the first time with Joseph, where it says with Yosef HaTzadik and Yaakov, Jacob says, Lo pilalti, I never dreamt that I'd see Joseph again. Says Rabbi Aarons, prayer's about dreaming. Now some people dream when they pray like this. That's not the type of dreaming. The dreaming when you pray is your eyes focused on your vision of how you want life to be. Dreaming up your future. And you really want to know how to do it? Try and tune in to Hashem's dreams. Make sure you're not ego dreaming. And try and get to neshama dreaming. Start dreaming. What is it Hashem wants for you? That's a different equation, no? If you say in tefillah, Hashem, what do you want from me? Has any of you ever davened that Hashem should reveal what He wants to you? Anyone ever done that? Because you really should. Because the first time Hashem will start answering it, and then He gets harder. Because prayer becomes like a bit like a PlayStation game. The levels get harder and harder and harder, and what worked for you in the past doesn't work for you anymore. I remember, I'll never forget, I'll let you into a bit of a Rabbi Hill prayer, spiritual PlayStation experience. One of the first times that I really needed to access. It's amazing, like even when I got married, that I didn't even need to pray for that. Sometimes Hashem gives you blessings without even asking. And that's just interesting. But the things you really need, then, okay, that's when prayer starts coming in. And then I remember once when I was asked to go and start a leadership program in university campus in the UK. My boss said, Rabbi, you can have it as long as you raise the money for it. I'm like, oh no, you really? I said, no, you raise the money, you're the boss. He goes, no, you're going to be the boss now of your program. Tough. If you want it, you've got to raise the money. I said, okay, we can do this. I had a friend of mine who was in hedge funds. My hope was maybe he'll help me. So I made an appointment to go and see him. And I'm on the way to go and see him, and his PA calls me on the day, and I'm walking up Borders Green Road and says, sorry, Rabbi El, he's had to cancel because he's got Zurich. He had to go to Zurich for a big board meeting. Fine. When's the next appointment? About 6 weeks later. So it was fine. It was around March time, so now went to May. Next meeting, I'm going up Borders Green Road. Like, please don't call. It called. Really sorry. Hilton's had to go to Perth, Australia to see his family. He'll be back after the summer. Now I started panicking. It's like, that was my tactic. Now what are we going to do? So I started trying my hardest with everyone else I knew, and we managed to raise £1,400. And I needed, I think if I remember, like £20,000. And it was the day before Monday, the 1st of September. I had a meeting with my boss that if I couldn't explain to him how we were going to pay for it, it wasn't going to happen. And the day before, I finally lost it in davening. And I said, Hashem, I give up. I surrender to you. And I said this beautiful Tehillim that I recommend you say, Hashleich el Hashem yavcha v'hu yichalkecha. I think it's number 55 in Tehillim. Cast your lot off to Hashem and then He will sustain you. Often Hashem wants you to surrender. Surrender is a big part of prayer. He doesn't want ego involved. Surrender and say, I'm not going to worry about it anymore. Hashem, I trust you. If you want it, I said, Hashem, it's your people, your Jewish people. You want Genesis, make it happen. Valerie, I'm coming down the stairs on the synagogue. And my phone goes, it's my friend Hilton. The friend that I was trying to get the meeting with. And I said, that's really fast Wi-Fi in that synagogue. That's crazy. And he says to me, I'm so sorry we kept missing. It was crazy. He said, what are you doing this afternoon? Nothing. You want to come over with your wife? Absolutely. And me and Leah went to Totteridge and we had a nice, beautiful afternoon with them. At a certain point, I told him about the idea. And he said, I love it. You know, my mother passed away. Let's do it in her merit. And the Rosemary Nathanson Scholarship was created. And I walked in the next day to my meeting with my boss. Oh, relaxed. Rabbi Hill, how are you going to pay for it? No problem. We've even got 1,400 profits. We can have more sushi. But I had to give it up. So then I always thought in life, that's what I'm going to have to do. So eventually, when the next phase came, when then basically my leadership program became so successful, we had a merger, and then I didn't realize at the time a merger means a takeover by someone else, and then someone else took it in a different direction, and then I was out of a job, and I had to find something new. And my friends, I had 3 of the toughest years of my life, and I used to pray in that way. I said, Hashem, I give it over to you. Nothing. So I went to that Rabbi, Raphael, and he told me, I can't help you yet, you've got to do the work. Great. I said, can't you help? He goes, no, you've got to do the work. And it took me about 3 years, and I realized, wow, I've got to literally change my vessel. And there's a Kabbalistic idea that if you do something 40 days in a row, which is spiritually very hard, that's a way to make a real shinoi, a real change in you. So I'm not going to tell you what I did, but I did something 40 days in a row, which was really hard. It was hard every day. Okay, another day. And then, when it finished, I went to see my rabbi who happened to be in London, Rosh Chodesh Kislev. He looked at me, now you're ready. Come to Tel Aviv. We've got a project for you in Tel Aviv. Isn't that crazy? So step 1, surrender. Step 2, change your vessel. Fine. Then what happens? Then it's really important, my friends, to visualize with optimism. If you visualize from a place of pessimism, you'll become a self-fulfilling prophet. It's never going to happen. Hashem asks us, Tzipita li Yeshua, do you anticipate the salvation? Hashem wants us to see it. So I started visualizing. I remember when we had to come to, after COVID, when we wanted to come to Israel, my wife said to me, Dina needs to get married, and we need to have enough money to come. So I went to Uman, Rosh Hashanah, before, and I visualized in Musaf a rooftop like that. I visualized my daughter getting married, walking around her chatan, and it was amazing. Even on Rosh Hashanah, when I went up to one of the rabbis for a blessing, he's like, it's already done. Hashem's already said yes. You don't need a blessing from me. It's like, it's all happened. And very soon afterwards, my daughter got married. Very soon afterwards, the donations came in. Very soon afterwards, this amazing rooftop was up there, which when I went up there to say thank you to Rabbi Nachman, I couldn't believe that Rabbi Nachman's name is on the other side of the street. This is Tel Aviv. This isn't Bnei Brak. This isn't Uman. Rabbi Nachman sent me to his shkuna. He literally sent me to his neighborhood, to his crazy. But you have to visualize. Next level. Now this gets harder. I don't know if you're going to be ready for this one. This isn't so easy. How many of you are willing to sacrifice what you want for Hashem? Let's say the thing you want. Are you ready to say Hashem? And if you say no, that's okay too.
Fine.
I'm going to. So for example, let's say you want to get married. Are you able to say, Hashem, I want to get married? I really do. But if you think, for whatever reason, for the betterment of the Jewish people, for the betterment of my reincarnation, your ratzon is that I shouldn't be married, I'll receive it with love. If you can do that, that will open up gates, because they will start fusing to Hashem's will. Let me explain and clarify a bit more. Case one, someone came to a Kabbalist and said, can I have a bracha for my to have a baby? So the Kabbalist said, not yet. I said, what do you mean? If Hashem would say no, are you going to be okay with that? Can you imagine? You're going to this makubal for a bracha and they're saying, if Hashem says no, are you going to be okay? What would you say? You mean it? That's Avraham and Sarah. This is like that. In 2026.
We are supposed to learn.
Good. Great. Halavah, you're on that level. And the woman, after thinking about it, went through the process and saying, Hashem, whatever you want. I'm here for you, not the other way around. The rabbi said, now I can give you a bracha. Gave her a bracha and then she had a baby. Because sometimes, let's try and really analyze. If it's your ego who wants it, what's that got to do with Hashem? Why are you coming to Hashem? Go to a fertility clinic. Go to do physical things. You want to turn to the master of the universe? You want to turn to the creator of the world? First and foremost, how can I serve you, Hashem? What can I do for you? Do you want me to be married? Do you want me to have kids? Do you want me to be a millionaire? If you do, I'm ready to receive it. If you don't, tell me what else I need to do. So there's got to be an element of giving up. The great Hannah exemplified this. We learn prayer from this incredible woman called Hannah. And she did something very, very reckless, which please don't do, but for her, she was allowed to do it. First of all, she said to Hashem, it's all for you. And not only that, if you give me a child, I'll give it up to the Bet HaMikdash. I'll let it be trained and become great. Just let me bring a child into this world and I'll give it to you. And then she said something very dramatic. You ready to what she said? Don't try this. Because this is, dangerous. Hannah said, Hashem, and if you don't give it to me, I'll make you give it to me.
I'll definitely do that.
You don't. Why? How? Because she said the following. She was a great prophet. And she said, it says in the Torah, that if a married woman is secluded with a married man, someone else, and then accused of adultery, in the Torah it says that you have to drink the waters and we're going to erase Hashem's name, and if she's had adultery, she dies in a very gruesome death. And if she doesn't, she has to have a baby. Because we embarrassed her. So she said, listen, either way I'm going to have a baby. You can either give me the nice way or the bad way, which we're going to erase your name, Hashem. And you don't want to have your name erased. So for your sake, you better give me a baby. But on a deep level, she was really coming from a soul place, from I want to serve you and I don't want to erase your name. And don't make me erase your name. Because I will have to. Because now we go to the next level. The Arizah. The Ari HaKadosh says, stop praying to God and start praying with God. Say that again. Stop praying to Hashem and start praying with Hashem. Because my friends, we are co-creators. And this is part of the problem of humanity. That free will and prayer works so well that if something you really want, but even if Hashem doesn't want it, if you keep on hounding away, be careful what you pray for. Because even if it's bad for you, you're going to get it and you're going to have to deal with the consequences. You know, if there's a guy in there in Tel Aviv tonight that really, really, really wants some heroin, it happens. In the end, if they really, as the Spice Girls say, if you really, really, really want it, you'll get it. And really that's what prayer is. It's defining what it is you really, 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 really want. But you have to make sure what you want is for Hashem, because if you want it for you, but you keep pounding away, that's why when Moses davened to come back to Israel 515 times, which by the way is the numerical value of tefillah, the word tefillah, Hashem says, by the way, one more time, I'm going to have to let you, but then know that the Bet HaMikdash that you build will never be destroyed, but the people will be destroyed. There'll be no more Jewish people. So be careful what you pray for, Moshe, because I'm going to have to let you in, but then Am Yisrael will be destroyed, and we're going to have to start the whole thing again. And that's when Moshe stopped. Because he realized it's not what Hashem wanted. Are we willing to stop? And this is where I need you to be really mature. It's somewhat of a paradox. On one hand, hold, Hashem, I want what you want. And then try and process, does Hashem want it? Does Hashem want it? Does Hashem want it? If you know for sure Hashem wants it now, good. So let's say marriage. You can assume Hashem wants it. Why? Because He says in the Torah, it's not good to be alone. He says in the Torah, you should have children. What happens after marriage? He says in the Torah, have a family. Pur Ravu. It's all the things that He says, so we can assume that He wants it. The Torah is the map for Hashem's will. So we look in the Torah. If you don't know, you ask the rabbi. But rabbis in the Torah and Shulchan Aruch will be that. Is it a mitzvah you're doing? We can assume if it's a mitzvah, Hashem wants it. Otherwise, He wouldn't have commanded. If it's to have heroin, you can assume He doesn't want it, because He says, look after your health. So sometimes it's black and white. It's obvious. It's a mitzvah or a sin. If it's a sin, He doesn't want it. If it's a mitzvah, He does want it. If it's, let's say there's a guy out there called Mark, and you'd like to marry him, but you're not sure if that's the right thing to marry. Thing. Because he's a thing. So in that case, that's where it gets complicated. But then that's why prayer is about you asking yourself in davening, in a place of meditation, Hashem, is this person going to help me be closer to you? Am I going to be my better version of myself with him? Am I going to do more mitzvot with him? Is our Shabbos going to be better with him? Or does he bring out the worst in me? I'm the immature side when I'm with him. I'm my worst with him. Then you can start working out what Hashem wants. And when you don't know, then you're in trouble. And that's when it becomes very tricky. Do you say, but I want it anyway? I'm sure it's the right thing. Or do you say, Hashem, I give it over to you. If it's the right thing, let it be. And if it's not, let us end. Which are probably the healthier thing to say. We shouldn't be arrogant and selfish. We need to try and get into Hashem's mindset. We need to try and want things that Hashem wants and not want what our ego wants. But your want is very powerful. Rabbi Tat says a story of his daughter. who had a doll that broke. She was crying. And his wife said, daven to Hashem, the doll should have a refuah shalema. She said it like a silly comment. So the daughter started davening in the corner. Can you please heal my dolly? And then the mother thought, oh my gosh, well now what have I done? Because he's not going to get better, he's broken. She goes, well, how am I going to explain this? So she finished davening. And she turned to her daughter and said, so, did you daven? She goes, yeah, I davened to Hashem. What did Hashem say? Hashem said no. That's a mature Jewish princess, no? We need to know that sometimes Hashem says no. I remember with my mother, when my dad passed, she couldn't get over how much she davened for him, but yet Hashem said no. And she didn't want to daven again. Because what's the point of davening if Hashem's not going to listen? Hashem does the opposite of what I daven for. And I try to explain, but that's not why we daven. We don't daven to get what we want. We daven to get what Hashem wants. I'll say that again. We don't daven to get what we selfishly want that can only see the small picture. We need to daven to align to Hashem's will. As the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot says, Asay ritzoncha kirtzono. Make your will His will. Let's give you a practical application now. Valerie, you ready for this? So I want you to do this when you pray. I call it TSB. Teaspoon. What's TSB? This is what I want you to do. When you pray, don't go, forget that. The most important part of prayer is when you close your eyes and you start talking to Hashem with your heart. Not just your mind, but you actually open up your lips. It says Hannah's lips were opened. It's important to open up your lips to articulate your desires. And you start off with a T. Start off with thanks. Start with gratitude, my friends. Don't just go straight into what you want. It's not a good start. It's already ego-led. We start off by eroding ego. We start off by having gratitude. Rabbi Nachman writes, you say thank you. You show appreciation straight away in the Shalom. Wow, they said thank you. Let's give them something else to say thank you about. Whereas if you say, Oi Hashem, what's going on? I was here last week and nothing's happened. You're not doing well up there. Hashem says, oh really, they're complaining. We'll give them something to complain about. So it's important to start off with gratitude, with appreciation, step one. T, thank you. Then S, it's really important. The part of prayer is about the sorry. It's about introspection. How can I improve? Look at it like, when you have these meetings with your line manager, going through what you're doing well and what you're not doing so well. A bit of prayer should be about that, where it's a self-awareness exercise of what can I be working on now. It's a good time. Wow, I spoke Lashon Hara this morning. I lost my temper this morning. I woke up late this morning. Bit of laziness. I'm not giving enough stakah. It's a time to kind of get back aligned to doing the right thing. So there should be a sorry. Next, now the please. Thank you, sorry, please, TSB. But before you do please for you, please for other people. It says in the Talmud, the person that davens for someone else gets answered first. So start off with davening for someone else. Especially, let's say you want to get married. Who in your friends want to get married? Start praying for them. You want a member of your family to be healed? Start davening for someone else to be healed first. And then, once you're really tuned in, and you're in a place of humility, maybe even a better thing to pray for first. This is a good one. Who in here has ever prayed for Hashem?
What does that mean?
Hashem right now doesn't have a house. He's homeless.
God.
But Hashem wants you to love Him, to care for Him, to nurture Him, to pray for Him, like we care for our parents. We should be caring for our Father in heaven.
God's not physical.
He's spiritual, and He's a spiritual reality. You're not physical either, your soul. It should be a neshama to soul experience. On the contrary, your body, that's not you. You're a soul talking to the root of all souls, and Hashem wants us to have a relationship with Him. And for Hannah, it says she davened al Hashem. She davened concerning Hashem. Do you know why she wanted a child? Because she wanted a Samuel in this world. She wanted the Jewish people to have a holy man who she knew she could bring for Hashem and the Jewish people. It was not for her. We should be praying that the Beit HaMikdash is rebuilt. We should be praying the Jewish people come back to him. We should be praying there should be now peace for his people. That his children shouldn't go through so much agony. First and foremost, daven for Hashem. Trust me, Hashem will like it. Hashem, we can talk more now. Right? It gets you in the door. And then finally, daven for yourself. And when you daven for yourself, yes, if at times you're feeling teary and you're sad, it's a great time to express that. But it's a certain point in the prayer, let it flip and say, thank you Hashem for listening. I have emunah and bitachon that it's going to be answered. I have faith and trust. I've given it over to you now. I'm expecting miracles. And tomorrow's the day. In the Torah, it would say, Yitzchak finished davening, and then Rebecca came straight away. It says literally, Vasher kila ledaber. As soon as he completed it, the miracle happens. Really, straight after prayer, done. You've prayed. You've asked for it now. The first time we had prayer in the world was when Hashem made Adam and Eve, and then they prayed for it to rain, and then it rained. Hashem didn't bring rain till there was prayer. I've got news for you. Do you know sometimes why bad things happen in our life? Because Hashem wants to hear us pray. We're not praying to get the salvation. We're not getting the salvation because Hashem wants to hear us pray. Prayer is the goal, not the means to the goal. The Gemara says they used to pray for 9 hours a day. 1 hour preparing, getting yourself in the right mindset. 1 hour in the middle of high meditation. 1 hour coming down. 3 times a day. 9 hours a day just in prayer. And they said, we wish we could pray all day. Can you imagine? 9 hours is spent on prayer. And some of you complain, it takes me 10 minutes in the morning. 10 minutes! An ideal world, you should really be spending an hour on prayer a day. Ideally. Especially with Tehillim. Next, here we're going to finish off with some really good game changers. One I heard from Rabbi Yigal Cohen. This is a bit of a dramatic one. You ready for some drama? I said this analogy to you before. It says the Baal Shem Tov, when a martial artist wants to go and chop this big beam, he doesn't do this. Comes in, and then the next day comes in, and the next day comes in. He has to focus all his attention, and all his might, and all his strength, and give it everything he's got, and wham, and break it. Rabbi Hill being the martial artist. My friends, do that in prayer. We just now had this football match. As I said, I was on the plane listening. I found a radio commentary at least. So I was listening to England, Mexico. After 60 minutes, we were 3-2 up. We went down to 10 men. And there was going to be at least 10 minutes extra time. So that means for an hour nearly, we're playing with 10 men in the heat of Mexico. Each one of them put so much. They literally left every fiber of their body on that field. And Baruch Hashem, we won. We won, but they died on the field. But we did it this time. And what I recommend, my friends, is when you finish davening, you should be exhausted. Because you've given it all. You've done all your efforts in Hashem. I need your help. So I'm going to do a little exercise now. And Rabbi Yigal Cohen says you should normally do this in your own home with no one around. But what goes on in JTLV stays in JTLV. And we do crazy stuff in this room. So yalla. Love. So what I'm going to say, there's this famous prayer we say in Hallel. So you repeat it after me. Ana Adonai Hoshiana. Which means, please Hashem save us. Please Hashem save. Now I want you to think, what is the thing you want more than anything in the world? What is that one thing that you're missing, that you want to beg for, that you want to daven for, you want to focus and break that beam, you want to give all your effort in your kavanah, that by the time you finish it, you know you put all your effort in, it's going to be answered for sure, because you've put it all out on the field. So now we're going to say it again, but I want you to scream it.
Okay.
Scream it to that as strong as you can. And to the level that you shout it will be to the level of your effort you're putting into it. So you can't be English and just say, Hashem Mashiach. You're putting your whole efforts, and Hashem's listening, Abba Sheva Shemayim is listening. So I want you, in these 4 words, when we say Ana Hashem Mashiach, you're having in mind that you're forcing the miracle out. Just like a mother forces the baby out almost with the last contractions. Right? Let's try and through tefillah right now. Again, you do it later as well, and you can really go for it. But everyone maybe just close your eyes, and now be oblivious to anyone around you. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay, no one's listening. You ready? So, and I'll shout it with you, okay? We'll count to 3. We'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Ana Adonai Hoshia Na. Should we do it again? Yeah. One last time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ana Adonai Hoshia Na. I go sometimes to Uman, and people are screaming. Everyone's screaming and screaming and screaming. It's very liberating. You feel like a relief afterwards. How does that feel? Feel good? Afterwards, you feel like you've done something. You feel a relief. You feel a relief. So that's another way to pray. Next one, we'll finish off with this, is the Shari Bitachon way to pray. Sometimes we've got to merge Bitachon into prayer. And if you say, let's say someone's not well, okay, the doctors, we've got some good medication, I need them, I need the doctors, and now I also need Hashem. The Chayvas Avavas, the Munabit, says that's not the way to pray. And this is what you say: Hashem, only you can help. Add in the words only. Only you. You know the song, Only You, right? So it's only you, just you. No one, yes, other people can be your instruments. It's good that there's a doctor and it's good there's chemo, but it's only you, Hashem, only you can help. I'll tell you something. Sometimes, to teach us lessons, nothing gets better until the doctors can't help. Until the chemo's not helping. And then you start realizing it is only Hashem. So it's much better to do the pre-medicine and to say already it's only you from the beginning. Because to say it's inclusively you is not real bitachon. Real bitachon is it's only you. So I would add in only you, and finally I would add in what Rav Arish says based on Rabbi Nachman. And he's told me to daven like this. You ready? This is what you're meant to say in your davening. You say, Abba. He says, don't even call Hashem, Hashem, Hashem. Call him Father, because he loves you. Abba, ani odea shata ohev oti. I know you love me. Vani odea shata rak rotzeh tov iti. I know you only want to give me good. In light of this, hello, please can I be married? In light of this, please can I have the business? In light of this, please can I get an apartment in Tel Aviv? In light of this, please can my father get better? But it's a nice way to start by getting you into the space of Hashem loves you, and Hashem only wants the best for you. And if that's where your head is, because we're self-fulfilling prophets, that's going to be able to release the blessing much quicker. If you're from a perspective of, oh, you hate me, you're judging me, you're punishing me, you don't like me, Hashem is like, I do, but it's a shame you don't view it that way, so you're now fulfilling your prophecy. So we turn it on its head. Remember, your relationship with Hashem is the way you perceive Hashem. Hashem tzilcha, Hashem is your shadow. So we say, Hashem, Ata Abba Sheli b'shamayim, v'ani yodea she'ata ohev oti tamid, v'ani yodea she'ata rak rotzeh she'yeh tov iti. In that light, please, can I have X, Y, Z? Thank you so much for it. I'm so excited to receive it and to invite you to the wedding, Hashem. And Bezrat Hashem, by going through this principle, so we learned tonight that if Rosh Hashanah Rafal Hash, that prayer is about changing yourself. changing Hashem. We learned that it's about dreaming. Pilalti, like Rav David Aaron said. We've learned tonight to do the TSB, the thank you, sorry, please. We've learned tonight to be optimistic in our prayers. We've learned tonight to scream and shout and put everything into our prayers. Don't be like a illiterate parrot who's just like out there parroting some stuff. Hashem wants to hear your heart. That's why there should be no excuse of going to a synagogue. Now, here's what I'll just finish off with. People ask me, where should I put in my own personal requests? Because it's your personal request that I really define as prayer. That's you and Hashem having a one-to-one. The best place to put it, in my opinion, is at the very end of the Amidah. Before you go 3 steps back, if you're looking at, I'll show you afterwards in the Siddur, it's going to say, Yula ratzonim reifi v'gion lebi lefanecha. May my mouth say the right thing, and then you have your one-on-one with Hashem. Now, some people in the Amidah like to do it blessing by blessing, so when it says Rafa'enu, they then ask for health. You can do it that way too. Sometimes, if I do that, I get distracted. I just want to really focus on the Siddur when I'm saying it and saying the words Hashem wants me to say, and then have my one-on-one. I'm kind of black or white, I'm all in with going one-on-one, talking to Hashem, and I'm all in with saying the Siddur. I can just, whatever works for you. But a good place to really, don't go 3 steps back till you haven't had your one-on-one. Whenever you start the Amidah, that's Hashem calling you into the CEO's office. You're in the king's palace. Hashem wants to have a chat with you. Make sure you have that chat. Too many people, you do the Amidah, you're saying words you don't understand, and then you finish. And you say, I've davened. No, you ain't. You said some words you didn't understand and wasted your time. Davening is you open up your heart to Hashem and unburden your soul. And the things that are on your mind, it should be like a counseling session. It should be like getting stuff off your chest. And becoming more spiritual and wiser, more enlightened through the prayer experience. I give you all a blessing that Hashem should help all your tefillot always be accepted l'tovah, always be accepted for good. Please God, all the things you ask should be for what Hashem wants, and your own desires should fuse with Hashem's desires, and Hashem should send you tremendous blessings in all areas, in the areas of your physicality and your materialism and your health. You should be blessed. You should be blessed with finding love and finding your soulmates and having children. Mizrat Hashem, you should be blessed, and people should ask for this, to receive your portion in Torah and your portion of the mitzvot. You should find the mitzvah that really lights up your life, and we should pray that Mashiach should come, because when Mashiach comes, you won't need to pray for bakashot anymore, because Hashem will be giving to us everything automatically. Thank you, everybody. There's pizza. You prayed for pizza. You have your pizza now. Thank you.
Does that go with, I don't know, I don't